Today on Red Dead Radio, welcome to the House of the Rising Fun.
Come on, man. You're better than that.
No, I'm not.
Fair.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Red Dead Radio, the Red Dead Redemption podcast. I'm your host, Jared Petty, and as always, we're going straight to the wild, wild guess.
We're going straight to the wild, wild guess. We're going straight to the wild, wild guess. Yeah!
Oh, that's me.
That is you.
Hello.
Hi, you're back again.
I'm back again. I don't know why you keep having me back.
Because you're the best. We love you.
Aw,
you're the
thanks,
guest
buddy.
with the best. You're the host with the most.
I'm the guest in the West.
You're the guest in the West. You're the hair with the flair.
I like that.
You like the hair?
I like
with
that.
the
Well, I need to get a haircut, so I'm very conscious about my hair right now, but I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I don't know. You kind of, it comes up. You get tired of hearing it. You do have the young George Lucas going on.
I do.
big
See,
time.
right now it's like it's holiday time, so I'm getting a lot of like Daniel Sterning it. Because like here's the thing. Now that I've said it, you kind of can't unsee.
No,
it.
you can't unsee it.
Like
Definitely
Home
not.
Alone 2, straight up, just like put a tarantula on my face,
And you're
It's
there.
like, I'm right
Yeah,
there.
it's true.
It's real bad.
I kind of had you pegged for the bird lady, but that's.
Oh yeah, 100%.
yeah.
I'd much rather be the old shovel man.
The old shovel. You
Yeah.
are kind of the old shovel
Well,
man. deep
in
down.
my heart of hearts, I'm the old shovel man.
Yeah, we're back, and we're just as on topic as ever, ladies and gentlemen. Happy New Year. This is our first show of the new year.
Ooh.
Yeah, exciting things afoot in the world of Red Dead Redemption. We were talking the other day on Kind of Funny. I was sitting with
I thought you meant
Andrea.
we were talking. I was like, I
no,
haven't talked to you
Andrea
all year.
and your former coworker, Mr. Fran Mirabella, who now...
Fred Mirabella.
He's a contractor over at Kind of Funny
Excellent.
now.
Glad to hear it.
But we were talking about maybe doing a Red Dead Revisited, where we do an episode where we just go back with several months of space and look back at everything now that we've...
You mean you stopped playing it?
No, but we were away
'Cause I was
from
gonna say,
the hype of launch.
Oh,
just kind of sit back and
the
go,
tornado of,
Yeah.
of like Red Dead's here, Red Dead's here, Red Dead's here, Red
and
Dead's here.
so were 60 other games.
Right, of
and
course.
Now let's back away and take a
Gotcha.
look
Now
at
we've
it
had
from
time. I mean, a lot of people are only just now rolling credits on it. Like
Yeah.
I know Andrea Renee, for example, just finished it like last week. I think
She just
earlier
finished
this
it.
week.
Fran is still in epilogue 2.
Yeah, Sam Claiborne over at IGN. He just finished it recently.
I've had friends write to me on the show here, or folks write to me on the show here, friends of the show, and be like, "Hey, I just watched the spoiler cast, or just listened."
Yeah,
to the
I mean,
spoiler
I'm
cast."
only now in chapter 4 of my second playthrough.
No kidding.
Oh, I'm taking my sweet ass time.
Okay, I see. This is what we're going.
Well, so this time I don't have to like try and smash through to write a whole book about this game.
No, you just be like,
I can just play it, and let me tell you, Naughty Arthur is a lot more fun.
then good Arthur.
I like Good Arthur,
But things are
I
much
am in
more
my heart
expensive.
Good Arthur. Things are much more expensive.
But that's okay because you get all those sweet ducats you stole off the train.
I
right?
can just steal things from trains now. It's great.
Before we get into that, I want to thank our Patreon producers, Tom Bach, Stuart Ferguson, Jonathan, and Dan Vale, whose generous support makes this show possible. Thank you for backing us for reasons outside of human comprehension.
Look, I comprehend it.
Yeah?
I'm great.
You are great.
No, you're great too. You're far greater.
No,
than I am.
you're great.
No, but like seriously, you're way greater than I am.
There was a thing from, I think it was from Retronauts a long time ago, but two people were complimenting each other, and Jeremy Parrish is like, "It's a meek-off! Who will inherit the earth?" Like, it was really, really good.
I legitimately had that moment where with Tom Marks the other day where I insisted he go through a door, he insisted I go through a door, and then we both went through the door together and got stuck.
Oh!
It was the best moment of the entire week. It was so perfect.
That is a very John Ryan and Tom Marks
It was
moment.
a very good moment.
If
Like
you're
we
not-
both kind of knew it was going to happen, but like we still did it anyways. And the fact that we bothered to do it, even though we knew it was coming, it made me really happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know Tom Marks from IGN, you should. He's the pie baconist, bow tie wearingest, most delightful man.
Genuinely, yes. I will say that I truly believe that you may be the nicest human I have ever met, but he is goddamn close.
No, I think Tom wins. I think Tom goes to the core. Like, Tom has a sweet chewy
Oh, right.
center.
There's your evil center that you've just hidden from the rest of the world.
Yeah,
of
whereupon
course.
Tom actually...
I always forget about Dark Jared.
Dark Jared is there. He's in there, definitely.
Tom is just a beacon of light throughout the entire
Yeah, you just
world.
go deep down inside. And but my problem is I don't have, like, a cool darkness. Like, some people are like, secret darkness. Mine's just, like...
It's not brooding. It's just like
no,
bad.
just lame.
It's just kind of
It's just
petty and
lame
shitty.
darkness. Yeah,
It's just like meh.
yeah, it's like
That's how mine is too.
it's like the goth kid. Like it's. I went to the mall store
Yep.
and I bought my eyeliner and I'm very unhappy.
Yeah.
Very unhappy about that.
Yeah, I'm going to
Why
make
can't I
fun of
remember
that
the name of the
person
mall
because
store.
I'm
What-
envious of them.
What's the store I'm trying to remember?
Oh, you're talking about Hot Topic?
Hot Topic, thank you.
Hot Topic, Spencer's Gifts.
Yeah, okay. The back of Spencer's Gifts, man. Got all them posters, weird.
They're both terrible.
pokey
Though I
things
will
in the
say,
back.
Spencer's Gifts, some dope wizard statues.
They do have some great wizard
Some
statues.
great fucking pewter wizards.
If you weren't around for this period of history,
This is now a pewter wizards podcast.
the Pewter Wizard Cast. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Do you remember when malls had that store? There was always that one store in the shopping mall that had the glass case full of nothing but pewter wizards.
Yeah, it
and
was
dragons.
Spencer's Gifts.
Well, there's Spencer's, but there was another store always that had that, and then like other like polyresin things. And that's gone. That ended in like the late 80s, early 90s.
No, I don't.
Oh yeah, I'm older than you.
I'm
I
sorry.
forget.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just so devilish.
There was always a store that was just like hundreds of those.
I mean, I remember those at so for me, it came up at like flea markets.
Yeah.
Where like there would be like one stall, and it was always the stall that was like between the sword guy and the nunchuck guy. And between those two, like to keep them from battling, there would be the one guy who just had fucking pewter wizards and skulls and like dragons and unicorns all over the place.
You know what? I just bought it.
I won't lie. I had a pewter figurine collection when I was a kid. I
All
absolutely
right.
did. Fuck
Yeah.
yes.
You should
Absolutely.
well,
I
you
only had
paint-
2 wizards though.
You paint minis now.
I do paint minis now. They're like my new pewter wizards, but they're way more useful.
You should buy a pewter wizard and paint it.
Oh no, I can't do that.
Why can't
I
you
can't
do
in
that?
good conscience because that would ruin the pewter of the wizard.
Yeah, but then he'd be a colorful wizard. And you'd
But
still
that's not
have
why
that
you buy a
heft and
pewter
weight.
wizard.
That's true. You buy it.
If
so
I
you
want a
get little
colorful
shiny
wizard, I will either buy and paint a mini, or I'll get one of those cool wizard T-shirts.
Man, people are going to love this episode.
This episode is already fucking ruined. I'm sorry, everybody.
And we haven't
I
even
literally
gotten
just can't
to.
come here.
We got to thank our friends at US Gamer, who's again their partnership makes the show possible. Every week they put wonderful things on the web. The folks over there, Kat Bailey, Mike Williams, Matt Kim, @all etc. doing wonderful work. You can find them on the socials at usgamer.net. You can find or on usgamer.net on social, pardon me, or at usgamer.net. There's great things to watch, great things to read over there, and some really good Red Dead coverage. I love their FAQ that they have, but we want to thank them as well. Now, John Ryan, pewter wizards aside,
Only for a moment though.
okay, a lot of announcements, especially very recently. So we're recording this on Thursday, January the 10th.
That's today's date.
And
I'm just off of 2 weeks of vacation, so I have no idea what time or space I currently occupy.
I thought I knew what this episode was going to be about, but then Rockstar,
Right, and then today we get some really, really fun news.
yeah. So let's hear all about this, John, because you have spent time with this, and I haven't yet. Like this
up,
news
shame
dropped
on
this
you.
morning, and I did not have time to play this today.
Well,
so.
the good news is you will
yeah,
eventually.
of course I will.
So yeah, in case you missed out on the news, today Red Dead Online introduced a new game mode. It's called Gun Rush, which I don't know if it's a play on something else or if it's trying to be Gold Rush but with weapons. Regardless,
Battle Royale.
it's the more traditional battle royale experience.
So is it? Let's start right there. Is it? People are talking about it as Red Dead Battle Royale. Is it Battle Royale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it to me it is, and it also isn't.
Okay.
It is a battle royale in the sense that you have all of the core facets of a battle royale.
So that
mode.
includes Beat Takeshi walking around as an evil teacher.
No. Well,
that
yes.
excludes school children murdering one another on a remote Japanese island in a dystopian
Little red
future.
blinking squares. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Plenty
good.
of that.
That's what we have.
No, what this has all the kind of tried and true tropes of a battle royale mode that we've come to expect, aside from parachuting into place, because that's kind of a weird thing to have cowboys do. You start in a randomly.
I don't know. I kind of wish you all landed in 100 hot air balloons all at once.
Look, if they gave me a hot air balloon or a dirigible, that'd be great.
Yeah, just 100. But I want 100 all like crashing on the map
That'd
at
be
the
really
same
good.
time.
So yeah, in the sense that it is a bunch of players dropped into an area that gets smaller and smaller in an effort to kind of push them together, and they don't have equipment that they have to then scavenge equipment, guns, knives, weapons,
Okay.
Armor, and then the goal is to be the last person standing. Yes, in all those ways, it is a battle royale.
Okay. Well, I think those would be the defining
Yeah, no,
characteristics of the
when
genre.
I say
right?
it's 100% a battle royale mode, it's a little less what I personally feel like the traditional kind of aspects of a battle royale.
Are you thinking about the survivally aspects or what?
A little bit. So it's first off, I don't really know how this is ultimately going to play out as a mode, because the concept is that it's for up to 32 players. But, and I don't know if this is just because there weren't a whole lot of very full lobbies when I was trying to play all day, or if it's a deliberate kind of player cap to test how the game works from Rockstar.
While they're in beta, yeah, and
Right.
they're launching it the first day.
There were only 6 to 9 players in any match. Like, I never ran into a match that had more than 10 people in it.
Wow. Okay, so really small.
Really, but
No, we
so-
already think 32 is already low for a battle royale.
But here's the thing,
yeah.
though. With this particular type of match, the way that they've structured each playing area, because it's not all one. It's not the same map, and like the points change.
It's not a giant island with a drive-in theater.
No. It's not
and,
like
yeah.
it's not like okay, the Battle Royale map is now the state of New Austin,
Yeah,
or
or Guarma or
it's
something like
right,
that,
Exactly.
yeah.
Which honestly, like I would maybe prefer or like to see on its own thing. Like if they just said, okay, the match is a half an hour. Here's all of New Hanover. Go. I think that would be super interesting.
But you think it's designed more for a smaller scale?
I think it's designed to
deliberately?
be a little bit quicker and a little more punchy.
So are the areas small?
The areas are smaller. Yeah.
Okay.
So, for example, I think Rhodes is a great example of sort of what you can expect from the other maps as well. It's areas like Rhodes or the Braithwaite Manor or Tall Trees, like that campsite in Tall Trees.
So are you just there? Like let's take Rhodes. Are you just in town or?
So honestly, yeah, basically it's
wow.
just town. So it's like you've got Rhodes dead in the center, so like Main Street and the gunsmith and the train station and the post office, and then you've got like probably 1,000 to 1,500 feet ringing around it.
Okay.
But it's a pretty small area.
Okay, so about
like
half a square mile, maybe a
Yeah,
little less.
I would say probably about a half mile.
Okay.
From end to end of the entire map.
and you
that's
said
at the
9
start.
people. Was that?
But it's supposed to be 32.
Okay, now did it work with 9?
It did.
Okay,
it worked.
okay.
It worked with that, and honestly, like I don't know if I will enjoy it once they start having more full lobbies, because to me, a battle royale is you start, you scavenge, you survive, and then there's like this sort of frenetic, like oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. But the way that they kind of treat this with Gun Rush, and I feel like this is sort of more the way that they designed it to be less like a traditional battle royale in that sense, is that it's more of the first scene in the Hunger Games, like around the cornucopia with that big, huge pile of guns.
Yeah.
And everyone rushes to it and then dies. That's much more what this feels like they want that mode to be.
Okay, so the
Where-
bloodbath in the the
exactly.
traditionally.
It basically, like, instead of it being like this game of cat and mouse between, the remaining players, it's very much just like when there is 32 players in this map, because like with 9 to 10 players, it is that. You do have that sense of like, shit, where is this next person? Like, there's that element of like, I can play smart, I can play like a survivalistic,
yeah.
and maybe I'll come out on top. I feel like with more than 15 to 20 players in there, it's just going to be like luck of the draw. Like, did I get to a gun fast enough?
Okay, hence Gun Rush.
Exactly. Well,
Okay.
exactly. And that's the
But
thing.
you haven't had a chance to actually try that out yet.
But I haven't
so,
because I
yeah.
haven't seen a match with more than 10 people.
Yeah, does the map fluctuate in size at all based on the number of people in it?
I don't know. It doesn't seem
wondering
to.
about that.
So
Okay.
that's the thing. It's like this, and this is one of those other reasons where it sort of feels less like a traditional battle royale to me, because much like with Motor Wars, if you played in GTA Online, the map is always like if you're playing in Rhodes, you're playing in Braithwaite Manor, you're playing in Hennigan's Stead, whatever. The map parameters are always the same, and the shrink target is always the same as well. It's not like in PUBG where you have this big massive area and the map shrinks in random directions.
Yeah.
Like it's not forcing you into new areas. It's just like, so Braithwaite Manor is a great example because if you remember that area from the mission, or if you've played other modes that take you there, you basically like the first person to get inside the manor and up to the top of the stairs wins, because that's where the center of the circle will always be, and there's only one way into that area.
Okay.
So like if you get there with a shotgun or a bolt action rifle or whatever, like I personally think shotgun's the best because it's super fun. But if you get there with a shotgun before anybody else, that the game is essentially yours for the taking.
Okay.
Which is, it can be fun, but it can also be kind of frustrating.
So you
Like,
feel like maybe the maps are not quite as tuned as they're going to be in the final version of this?
I think that there's definitely room for improvement, and I hope that we see a bit of tweaking.
What would you tweak?
I would have, in a perfect world for me, the maps would be considerably larger.
Okay.
If we're going to have 32 people per match.
Okay.
But that would also sort of require there be a minimum amount of players as well. So like you couldn't run a game with less than say 15 people.
Okay.
Because like for example, if you play what's the bow and arrow battle royale? What's the name?
I forget the name too. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Make It Count. That's the one. If you play Make It Count and there's only 4 people in the match, that's a long goddamn match if you're walking around the woods looking for someone to kill.
Yeah, takes a while.
So with this, I would love to see larger play areas if there's going to be more people, but that would also give it the ability to move the final target around. Because I feel like once, and maybe this isn't what they're going for. Maybe they're not looking for that sort of randomized experience. Because why would anyone play the rest of the modes if that one just keeps randomizing and randomizing?
Okay, that makes sense.
But I think that would make it a little bit more interesting while we're still in this phase where there's only a few showdown modes, including Gun Rush.
So, what? One question I always have: I am always fascinated with battle royale games and the genre and the modes in general. What's pushing you toward the center? What is this mysterious force that pushes you in this particular one?
Oh,
sometimes it's giant walls of fire.
No,
sometimes
in this case, it's just you're going to die if you stay out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing. I can't say that for 100% sure because I never just turned around and ran. Like, I just ran fucking close to the center, and I would either be dead in 3 seconds or I'd win the match.
I have a secret hope that someday it's just going to be that CG model from the Langoliers TV series.
Oh, God.
And
the big
flying garbage bags.
Oh,
and
please. Yeah, the weird little, like, silver clackety balls that just come in fucking... like the Pac-Men, basically.
Yeah, exactly. That look like they were rendered on an Amiga in, like, 1989.
Oh,
yes,
God, that'd be so good.
If you don't know what we're talking about, stop right here and just... Google the Langoliers YouTube. Like,
it's
fine.
Quite terrible.
These are people talk about bad CG effects, but
these might be the worst. These may be the worst
ever.
The actual worst CG you've ever seen.
It's incredible.
And like that's counting for a lot.
And it's supposed to be horror, which is what makes it like when the monster is so
It's the perfect version of that episode of Doug.
Oh yeah, that's so. My gosh, that's so good.
Where Doug's the only one who looks at the monster in the scary part of the movie, and you can see the zipper in the thing's back. Like it's the quintessential real world equivalent of that.
Yeah,
it's so terrible.
Have you been reading the stories around Bird Box? Where
I haven't even watched Bird Box. I haven't had time.
Apparently, everything I'm reading says it's not actually very good. But
I mean, I'm not surprised by that.
But the second is that the monster was originally in the movie, and they cut it out because, and again, this is just what I read.
Because it looked crappy?
Because Sandra Bullock kept laughing when she looked at the monster.
Wait, I thought the whole thing was that she couldn't look at it.
You can't.
I thought the whole thing was that she just
but like when she would look at it
movie.
between takes, like that it was just so.
Well, also, I mean, like,
yeah,
read the room, like, good choice, I guess.
Well, it's like Jaws that can get the robot to work, so that.
But there's a difference. Like, the robot shark still looked scary in the water.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if the Predator had showed up and he had like a fucking clown wig on and a big honky red nose, like that'd be different. I wouldn't want to see it.
I don't want to be guilty of feeding false rumors and speculation here, but if I remember reading correctly, the monster designers were the same folks that worked on A Quiet Place, which is even more like A Quiet Place being Bird Box. So A Quiet Place is good.
A Quiet Place is Bird Box, but with ears instead of eyes.
Yeah, and it came out a year ago. It's John Krasinski.
Which is
Annapurna did it.
Yeah. Also, I watched his Jack Ryan.
What'd you think?
I actually liked it. It was interesting.
He is the everyman.
He really, truly is.
Yeah, he is. He is the everyman. A Quiet Place, totally worth your time. Very good.
So here's the thing. I hate horror movies.
Oh, okay.
I shouldn't say I hate them. I appreciate when they're done well. I'm just a big old scaredy cat.
Well, we're kind of going through a horror renaissance.
I know. Well, that's the thing. I know. Like the last 3 or 4 years, I've had some great horror movies that everyone I know who is like, I appreciate a well-made film, and everyone I know is just like Quiet Place, Hereditary, like all these movies are like you have to watch. I'm like, no, thank you.
No,
like I appreciate that a bunch of effort went into them. They are great movies. They will stand the test of time. I will choose not to watch them because I do not like being scared.
Every time I watch It Follows, I like it more. That was kind of the one that I think that kicked all this off.
All right.
And did you see it?
No. It's a horror movie. The last horror movie I saw in theaters was Get Out, and that's probably the last one that I'm going to watch until Us comes out.
That's exciting. It Follows is like that wonderful area of horror that makes you feel weird about your own sexual thoughts, desires, etc. Like,
See, I much prefer that kind of
it
shit.
messes with
Like
you.
the thing for me is like I'd be much more comfortable watching a movie that is psychologically horrifying
Yeah.
than I am watching something that is like body horror or jump scares.
No, there is a monster in It Follows, but that monster is
Me? Am I the monster?
Kinda, but kinda.
Okay.
Like
Well, I am a
a
monster.
real monster, but it is totally based on
Does it have a mirror
all the
tied to
things
its
you feel
head?
uncomfortable about what you feel like inside.
Oh,
yeah,
that's,
it's really well done.
Jesus. All
It's
right,
really
cool.
good. It's a good flick.
Maybe I'll watch it with the lights on and on very low volume.
Maybe it is genuinely frightening in places.
I'm sure it is. That's my big thing is like it's always like I can always deal with creepy like paranoia movies, but like jump scares and shit like that, I'm just like nope, no thank you.
And there's a tangent by us again.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
been what 8 minutes since we talked about Red Dead.
Yeah, I know. So moving on from that,
The good news is, this is all of this that I'm saying about Gun Rush isn't to say that it's a bad mode. It's still a very fun use of your time when you're playing Red Dead Online. I'm just curious to see what the final version of it looks like.
What's your favorite Red Dead Online activity besides pulling people behind your horse?
Oh well, then that's it.
Oh, okay.
No, I still like. I like the business battles in GTA Online, so I still like the stranger missions.
Okay.
But I think my favorite one probably is, I think either Name Your Weapon or Most Wanted.
Yeah.
The Name Your Weapon is the one where each weapon is assigned
Yep.
a point value for its
love
kills. I think that's very,
that
very
mode.
good. And I like the story stuff too.
Yeah.
I'm curious to. I like the fact that the story stuff is influenced by how I behave elsewhere.
That's a really neat take. I don't know if they're getting enough credit for that because I can't
I don't
think of
think they
another
are, to be
online
honest.
game that
Like,
does that.
I mean, I can think of ones where you choose to play bad or good from like the get go. Like
Yeah.
WoW, you play as the Horde or you play as the Alliance.
Right.
But they're like we're years past the point where the Horde was bad.
Right.
Like they're not. They're just,
And this
they've
is kind of
been good.
dynamic. And I
Well,
like
this
that,
is
yeah.
about your choices. This is much more like a traditional RPG in an online space. Which
You're
I
not
really
choosing
love.
a faction. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
You're choosing how you want to behave. Now, granted, because of how you sort of have to behave in an online space with other players, it's hard to not go the route of dishonor. It's actually really hard to remain honorable when you're
Yeah.
just trying to survive.
But that in itself becomes a badge of honor.
Right,
I mean,
yeah,
if you're that
exactly.
player with a high honor, that's kind
Right.
of awesome.
Yeah,
You walk around
mine's
like,
still super
that's
tanked.
that's a real
So
accomplishment.
I played super high honor through the first chunk of the story, and then I had to tank it. So I was like, well, I may as well just stay down here in the dirt.
I feel like once GTA comes out of beta, Red Dead.
Yeah.
Why do I always do that? Red Dead Online.
I mean, it's an easy mistake to
It
make.
is. Well, once Red Dead Online comes out of beta, I wonder if someday, and this is years away, if there's some potential for that kind of EVE-ish chicanery to take place where you get the... So EVE Online, famous for player skullduggery and
gotcha. Yeah,
giants.
Good use of skullduggery, by the way.
Thank you very much. Yeah, EVE's all about... people spend a year plotting.
Yeah, I saw
raid.
some headline about some big old dust up in EVE Online recently.
Well, I think I know the one you're talking about. That actually happened a while ago, but the press picked up on it. And,
Okay.
and I don't play
As
EVE
we're,
anymore,
we're
but-
always super late to the party on stuff like
So
that. I don't mean we as an IGN.
EVE
because
exists in a
that's not the
different.
case.
No, this was about the one I think you're talking about. There's this kind of battle station in EVE. It's extraordinarily expensive. And
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
factions have to pool their resources for a long
Right,
period
and
of time.
somebody bounced and exploded theirs.
Somebody didn't just bounce and explode it. Somebody exploded it on the other side of a wormhole system, which is. I don't want to go too far down this wormhole.
What, another giant tangent? No,
But
of course
yeah, like it's an undertaking. It's not just like we made a cool plot and destroyed a space station. It's we figured out a logistical way that took 11 months
not. Jesus Christ.
to move several hundred capital ships covertly across the galaxy.
We pulled the ultimate heist.
to the least. Yes, it is Ocean's 11 stuff. And then when we got there, we spent a solid week online fighting the battle.
Dope.
And pulling it off. Like, it's just, it's impossible.
I
There was a
would-
thing that was regarded as impossible. It's like when all those players killed that dragon in the Sony MMO. Like, and it
Right.
wasn't possible, and they turned the server off because they'd never predicted what would happen. Yeah. Except this is one of the things that can't happen, but in EVE, that's like the whole point.
Right. So I don't know if we'll ever see something, of that sort of scale.
I hope so.
But I would very much love to. I would love to see sort of the world itself become so reactionary to our choices. I would love to see the emote system be transferred into something like
Yeah.
the interaction system that we have in single player, where you can, like, even go further than that if they are really going to lean into this whole, play how you want and role play your own character, like be able to manipulate NPCs and not just, select people in story missions, but just like some random fucking guy at a farm that you've
Yeah, and you make things happen.
Yeah.
I like the idea of being able to play a charismatic character. I've leaned more into that, like specializing not in gunplay but in leadership, building AI armies to lead and just like I'm the huckster, I'm the guy that
you're gonna play the bard.
Yeah, and I like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it time and again since playing through Red Dead 2 for the first time. Like, I know it will probably either never happen or it will take an inordinate amount of time, even more so than 8 years, to do. But I would love, love, love to see Rockstar try their hand at a full-blown RPG, like high fantasy or hard sci-fi, like either way. I would love to see that because of the way that they like to write their characters.
Yeah, if we weren't so close to Cyberpunk coming out.
No. I mean, this is a game that I would not expect to see coming out until 2030.
Well, it's also thematic. Yeah, in 2030. But I would, if I could think of any, they would want to create their own license, I think. But
yeah.
But I've never, ever seen a good adaptation on film or game, really, of Neuromancer. I think they were born to make that game.
Yeah. I mean, look, they did great with the Warriors.
Yeah.
It's like we know with acquired IPs they can do wonderful things.
They can do it. That's true. I think the problem is it's too close to Cyberpunk, I feel like. Well, Cyberpunk's much more high sci-fi, whereupon Neuromancer is very street level and
it's very gritty. It's very gross.
Yeah, it is.
I think the problem with Neuromancer, and it's like, this is... I do love this sort of cyberpunk fiction, and like Neuromancer is sort of one of the great birthers of that.
Yeah.
With Neuromancer, I feel like narratively, it's a very linear world.
It's a very linear story. What about Blade Runner?
I don't want to see a Blade Runner video game. I
wondered.
don't. I have as much interest in a Blade Runner video game as I do another Die Hard game.
Did you ever play Westwood's old Blade Runner adventure game?
No.
So it was neat. It was the old point and click adventure format.
Okay.
But it was cleverly designed so that who the replicants were was randomized, and that changed the story.
Awesome.
So it was an adventure game with replay value where
That's great.
There wasn't one solution.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and
see, that's super fucking
cool.
cool.
It was pretty neat.
And so that's ultimately the thing where it's like, Rockstar has proven time and time again that they can build these amazingly detailed worlds with these great characters and this huge, broad, like, branching story that you can truly have an impact in. But I really want to see what happens if they choose to take that sort of like to the umpteenth level.
I like that.
But that said, I don't think we'll necessarily see that with Red Dead Online. I think we'll definitely see more of that than we did in GTA.
Yeah. But you feel like that might be a generational jump or two away yet?
I think that I think it could be accomplished on this generation of technology. I just think it's a matter of time.
No, I think it's a matter of development time.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they have the tech exists, but do they want to, is that where they want to spend their money?
Right. Like, do they want to spend the next 4 years writing cowboy RPG DLC?
I mean, yes.
I want them to.
Yeah,
but
I do too. Please do. Please do.
But the cool thing is that, they've also sort of charted a course for, I don't know how long the still to come timeline is. I would probably guess 3 to 6 months, if not a little bit longer. But they also kind of, in the release when they announced the Gun Russia mode being available today, they also said like, hey, here's some stuff that we're working on.
Aren't press releases the best?
They're honestly like they're the bread and butter of what we do, but also like they are fun to pick through. Yes,
set phasers to fun.
I'm gonna go now.
Let's shout out to Hollander Cooper. That was that was always his go-to.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, please expound. What other bountiful information was bestowed upon fans?
Bountiful. I don't necessarily know if I would say bountiful.
All right, what's happening?
Well, so there are a bunch of details, like a little bit more concrete, before we get to sort of the weird extrapolating stuff.
Okay.
And some basic stuff that people have been apparently asking for, like daily challenges. We got those eventually in GTA Online. So it's like, hey, you boot up for the first time in a day. It's like, hey, guess what? You're going to make $25 and a gold bar, or 50 cents in gold, whatever, if you kill 3 ducks, stop a convoy, and play 1 round of Showdown.
I wish killing 3 ducks was always a part of it. Like, no matter what else happened, you had to kill 3. Actually, I love ducks. Ducks are
Why
great.
would you want to kill them then?
Duck hunt.
Well, yeah, but like... God damn it. So daily challenges are coming. They said that they're also going to do some stuff with where the hell did it go? Sorry, I have it right.
That's all right. It's got it right there. The gentleman is pulling up.
I'm pulling up notes. Look at me go.
Even as he speaks.
So sort of the ways that bounties will work and sort of the law. It says players will get a bounty for committing crimes and will be incentivized to pay them off within an allotted time. Waiting too long, and bounty hunters from each of the states will track the player, forcing them to either pay up or escape.
Okay. So they're going to make it.
I've yet to run into bounty hunters in Red Dead Online. I don't think that they're there currently. If they are, well, look at me go. I'm being faster and better than they are.
Oh, all right. Look at you. But now they're going to be more.
But now they're going to be more plentiful, much more present. If they're, I honestly don't know if they're in there already right now or not. But I think that's a good sort of indication that they do want you to sort of lean more into playing up this idea of surviving and living in this world where it's instead of just like, if I'm playing GTA, I just bought a truck in GTA a couple of weeks ago that's just the war rig from Mad Max.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit if the cops are going to come after me because my car has spikes on it and can flip them half a block away.
Right, yeah. And that could be fun in Red Dead Online to a point, but you're not the center of the universe so much in Red Dead Online.
And it's the thing that I think interests. I think the thing that interests me the most is like there's a little bit further down the press release that they put out. There's sort of a few things that they're like working on like down the road.
Yeah.
That they're looking forward to. One of them is more story content. So the Land of Opportunities thing with Harlow and Mrs. de Klerk, is that it? Jessica de Klerk?
I believe that's correct.
Madame de Klerk. To sort of finish out their story and give you more sort of moral choices.
By the way, never ask me for a name.
I'm always going to ask you for names because you normally know more than I do.
No, I know very little about it.
Sorry, pal. You know more than me. You're a smart guy. Look at those big old glasses.
I mean, that's how you tell if somebody's smart.
It's true. Your glasses are thicker rimmed than mine, which means you know more.
I do have very thick glasses. They're very small, though. I used to have like the serial killer glasses with the double bar, but that was a long time ago.
When you were a young man.
Yeah, when I was young. Yeah.
But, good God.
Why does anyone watch this?
Because we're lovable chums.
Oh, thanks, y'all.
I mean, I don't know. I love you. I think you're great.
Expound.
So, you'll get more story-based content. But the thing that I'm most curious about is what they call dynamic events. Mm-hmm. And that's with a capital D, capital E in their release. So it's not it's not TM. Just like like fucking trademark dynamic event.
That's right.
So it's not just like, I saw a wagon accidentally crash into something, like how wacky the physics messed up.
No, this is a new class of event.
Right, it's a new thing. And like I don't know what that is officially. Mm-hmm. Like it could well be another version of sort of the business battle-y type things. Mm-hmm. It could be something similar to like the challenges that we see, but a little bit more world-based. So like GTA Online, for example.
Man. It's all Snakebite Man.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually what I'm hoping for. Mm-hmm. GTA Online has like challenges, they have events, but they're not what I would say like role play, or they're not really dynamic. Mm-hmm. It's like get in a plane and free fall as fast and as far as you can before you hit and open your parachute the closest to the ground. Like mm-hmm. that's an event in GTA Online. What I'm hoping for is a lot closer to Snakebite Guy. Like, I would very much love to see, like, and I think I've talked about this on this show before, like, I want to see those random events show up. Like, give me the ability to choose and to really roleplay my morality more other than just walking into a saloon and deciding whether or not to murder everyone.
Even if, and again, I realize it's a lot of work to create even a single event like that. But even if it only happens to me every 3 or 4 sessions, mm-hmm. that's still a cool thing to happen that reminds me I'm in another world.
Exactly, and that it's surviving on its own without me there.
But saying every 3 or 4 sessions, like that's a casual thing. But I mean, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, of course it is.
To do something like that. Another thing that I've wondered about, I don't think they'll do this because I think the economics of it would be very difficult. But do you remember the drug trading thing for Chinatown Wars?
No, I never played Chinatown Wars.
So Chinatown Wars is the best GTA game. And
debatable, but
as much as I love 5, Chinatown Wars is brilliant. It is a work of pure genius.
That was PSP?
Well, it was originally DS. And that's the version I love. The PSP one's actually a little less good, in my opinion.
Wow, somebody else.
I know. Well, it's built around the hardware, and that force them. Sometimes, limitations force you to design some really great things.
Right.
And that's what they did. But without going down the Chinatown Wars rabbit hole, the game had this buy low, sell high drug trading thing where there were dealers all over Liberty City. And every time you found a new dealer, it was great because they didn't have new drugs usually.
Remember, kids, don't do drugs.
Yeah, they didn't have new drugs necessarily, but they
drugs,
all
just
bought
kidding,
and
do
sold
drugs.
all the different drugs at different rates. And those fluctuated a little bit.
Okay.
And so the more you found, the more you gained the opportunity. And it wasn't like you crossed the world so much to do this as you were in the area to do something else. And you're like, oh my gosh, that guy's over there, and he's paying a lot for heroin right now.
Right, and like I know this guy who I'm gonna have to go back to this neighborhood anyway,
Yeah.
and he'll pay a lot for coke, but this guy's gonna sell me coke for pretty cheap.
So what I would love is like a system of trappers that do something
be
very
great.
similar to that.
Yeah, I would love to see down the line, the trapping update, the hunters update, because I want to be able to craft my own stuff. I want to be able to craft, a raccoon cap or a bear skin coat.
Yep. Which I think they absolutely know we want that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I
Cool
don't
headgear from the Coen Brothers True Grit.
Yeah, I speak from no place other than rampant speculation at this point, but like, I think we will see a relatively similar content drop style to GTA Online, wherein, yes, we'll see updates and modes and stuff kind of rolling down slowly after we get out of beta, but I think that there will be, packs that kind of get unleashed, much like the Finance and Felony or the Bikers Pack or the Doomsday Heist.
Yep.
And I feel like those will be sort of themed to stuff that we experienced already in single player, but might not have gotten a chance to see in online. So like, maybe we are the people who help the trapper in single player get established.
Until Undead Nightmare drops.
Right. Or Wes Craven's Vampires, the Red Dead Online.
Well, I think that'll be part of Undead Nightmare. I mean, I think
yeah.
there will be a if they don't add a vampire.
I'm saying that
update
I think
to
it's
this,
going to be
something's very
vampires,
wrong.
not zombies.
I think it'll be general supernatural, and it'll come in waves. But
maybe
that's my guess: werewolves, zombies, vampires, all the rest.
Do you think that will exist as a choosable session mode, or do you think that will be like a game mode in online?
My suspicion is it'll begin as an event that gradually becomes...
Like everyone has to deal with it at some point.
And that it gradually becomes an instance-oriented, optional way to play the game. Just like sometimes I wonder if they're going to crash like a freighter full of zoo animals into Saint-Denis.
That'd be really interesting.
Like suddenly there'll be rhinoceri roaming around the Wild West.
Oh, that'd be really good.
Things
I'd love to see more with the trains, because right now I believe the train you can only encounter it parked. I don't think I've ever seen the train actively moving of its own accord and not driven by another player.
There'll be some train stuff going on.
Oh, well, I'm sure we're going to get like big heisty missions,
Yeah.
Like train heists and stagecoach heists. But I'd love to see that kind of stuff. So like, the single player stagecoach heists I think are great, where it's like, hey, this stagecoach is going from here to here. You have 5 hours to get at it someplace along this line.
Yeah.
I think that's a great mode to bring over to online. As like an open world thing where it's like, much like a business battle in GTA, like, hey, these assholes are planning to rob this stagecoach. Do you care enough to stop them? Do you want to try and steal the take?
Oh, man, now I'm doing that thing where I just like start dreaming and get it. Like,
But that's the fun of Red Dead
I
Online.
went quickly down under. Like
I want Fievel DLC.
Final DLC. Yeah.
Fievel!
Let's talk about something for a second. I've said for most of the time we've done the show because of the expense that would be impossible. But something is kind of changing inside me a little bit. As I look at the timetable, I think most of us are expecting a 2020 release for next gen. That seems
For next
to
gen
be
consoles?
Consoles, yeah. That 2019 is
I
probably too early.
If we see a new console out this calendar year, I will be amazed.
Yeah, announcement this year, release next year.
If even.
Yeah, is what I suspect that.
But like, Sony's bowed out of 2 major press events this year.
Yeah, but I'm not sure because they don't have anything to show. I think that
I don't think it's because they have anything to show. I just think I just don't think they don't want to tip their hand too early.
Well, I think Sony and Microsoft, in terms of the base hardware, in terms of like the pushing the graphics and making the game happen,
Right.
are both effectively working with PCs at this point anyway.
Yeah, of
and so they're
course.
just iterating, and they're just going to keep upgrading the specs
Right.
behind the scenes of what they're building. It's going to be about features that
Which,
they're
to
going
be
to
honest,
sell their consoles on, features and exclusives.
Yeah, I would be totally fine if the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One X lifestyle went on for another 3 or 4 years. Like, I think the games that we have right now are plenty beautiful.
I think Microsoft and Sony, I think especially Sony, would feel the same way, and Microsoft would if they were ahead, but I think Microsoft knows a generational shift
Well, I think they both want
is
to.
the best way for them to regain control of the market.
I mean, I think that they both feel that way, and not necessarily about regaining market control, but just increasing profit share in general.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think PlayStation would be very happy
Boo,
to sell
capitalism.
PS4s with that. Well, that's a whole other can
Yeah.
of worms. The main thing
This
I do
is
wonder
now a
about now is-
socialist podcast.
so we have this huge area of the Southwest open, and I used to think this wouldn't
Yeah.
be profitable enough for them, but
To make Mexico?
I don't even know if they have to make Mexico, or although they might make a little of it. But what about so we had GTA 5 launch on last gen consoles and
Yes.
then relaunch on PC.
Oh, I
on next
absolutely see that happening
So do
whenever
I.
next gen comes out.
But what if next gen includes Red Dead Redemption 2
And Red Dead Redemption
Red Dead
Remastered.
Redemption Remastered?
I would love that.
In the
I would
same pack.
absolutely love that.
I kind of feel like that's where this is going. That would be a part of the release of the new pack to entice people to come back and purchase it.
Maybe. It could.
Maybe,
I mean, it could
maybe
be.
that's too ambitious because it would be remaking Red Dead in that new but I feel like that would give you it'd be an enormous amount of work. It'd be as much work
Yeah.
as making the first game was. But it would give you a chance to parse the game down a little bit. Red Dead Remastered, I think, could be half the length of Red Dead Redemption and maybe be a better game.
Oh yeah, if they made Mexico 2 missions
And cut
instead,
the racing out of it, and
Yeah.
a few
The
other
mandatory
things.
racing.
Exactly, and the rest of that you could effectively have a much more
Yeah,
much
Absolutely.
more solid game.
I think that'd be great.
Do you think I'm completely out of left field thinking?
I don't
that
think you're
as
out of
a
left field.
next-gen
I think a
launch then?
lot of people have speculated and hoped for a Red Dead remastered.
Well, everybody's hoped for it, but
But I know,
once
I
they
mean,
built the
I mean,
whole darn
I mean-
map, I was like, "Holy!"
Well, that's what I'm
crap.
saying. That once we saw that was the case, I think there were a lot of people saying like, "Oh, it's definitely got to be this." Whether or not it's like an actual future reality that's going to come to pass,
Yeah.
I'm still on the fence. I think it's probably, I'll say 70-30 against. To be honest,
I tend to lean against because the enormous expense involved.
Yeah.
But I also think that everybody who bought a copy of RDR2 would buy remaster if it had, or would buy RDR1 remaster next gen.
Yeah. If it came packed together like that, I would absolutely rebuy it.
I think that would be an amazing incentive to rebuy it.
Yeah. Though at the same time, like I would probably just buy it on PC.
There's that too.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, I just got my new gaming PC, and
I know. I'm looking at it right now. I'm very jealous.
Got my GTA out last night.
Oh,
and
yeah?
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
'cause I've
GTA
been-
5 with mods is delightful.
Yeah, I've been in that console space for GTA for a while.
Yeah.
And coming in there and doing this again was, oof.
Yeah, it's very good.
John, I think we've probably covered the bases tonight.
Oh, I think we talked so very much about not even.
so very little.
We talked about too many bases. We covered so many bases. Bases that shouldn't have even been covered in the first place.
We did cover those bases. You just got back to work at ye old IGN.
I did, yeah.
You just came back from your vacation.
Yep.
Anything especially interesting that you're working on right now?
Well, as always, if you're playing through Red Dead for the first or second time, or playing Red Dead Online, you can stop over to ign.com/wikis/Red Dead Redemption 2 and check out all the cool guide stuff that myself and Miranda and Brendan and Casey and the rest of the Wikis team have put together for RDR2. We've been working pretty tirelessly on that since October, and because there's going to be so much extended support for it, there's no end in sight. So by all means, go check that out. And of course, I mean, the next 6 months to a year is going to be a crazy amount of time, or is going to be a crazy time for folks playing video games. You know, in the next 2 months alone, you've got RE2, Kingdom Hearts 3, Anthem, Far Cry, The Division in March. So on behalf of everybody else who I work with over at IGN, like, please come check out all of our content for that. We've got some great stuff coming down the line.
All I
For
heard
all
was
of
Resident
us.
Evil 2. The rest of those games didn't really register
I mean,
in my
right now
ears.
that's the biggest thing on my horizon too.
Isn't it amazing? Like 2 years ago, people were like, "Is this game even coming out? Like, is this game
I know,
dead? Is this
I know,
vaporware?"
right?
And now, when I talk to friends that cover games, this is the one
This is my winter game
that everybody's excited about.
And that's the thing. It's like, it's January. What are you excited about? You're either Kingdom Hearts,
Yeah.
boo, or Resident Evil 2, yay.
Kingdom Hearts, I want to be excited about. I probably will be once
No.
it comes out, and I don't have to listen to people talk about
Nope.
it anymore.
Nope.
No?
Nuh-uh.
Didn't do
Nope.
anything for you?
Nope. It was
Mickey,
came out in
Donald?
fucking 2000 and 2002 was the original one on PlayStation 2. I missed it there, and I
When
feel like
you
if you missed the original boat,
Yeah.
it's hard for you to give a shit.
When you said that, Jonathan Dornbush's new dog
I know.
just died.
No,
You killed it when
little
you said
Loki,
that.
Prince of Tricks. No.
Yeah, you killed.
No,
killed
Dornbush
Loki.
has more than enough love in his body for Kingdom Hearts to completely outdo all of the misanthropy that I have.
There's a part of me that just wants to get Dornbush and Alexa Ray like in the same room talking about this.
Oh, you should
for,
do that.
for a couple of hours.
You should
That'd
totally
be
do that.
amazing.
Make that
I'd
happen.
love that. Ladies and gentlemen, Kingdom Hearts fans or not, we hope that you enjoy the magical world of video games as it continues to unfold and expand.
Particularly
before
the
our
cowboy
eyes,
world.
especially that cowboy world. Yeah, so let's play some Red Dead Redemption. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. And we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.